What's up guys, I'm Just a Gamer, back earlier than I expected because right after releasing my last video, Game Informer's digital issue went live and it has a bunch of new Mass Effect Andromeda info and there's a lot to go through, but I'm here to give you my takeaways, so here we go. First off, the arcs leave around Mass Effect 2's time period, so the people on board actually have no idea what happens during Mass Effect 3. They are gone before any of that happens, so that's interesting. For gameplay, global cooldowns are gone and individual cooldowns are back for abilities, which is more reminiscent of Mass Effect 1, where each ability had its own cooldown, and then in Mass Effect 2 they made it a global cooldown. And I actually like the system of Mass Effect 1 better, because in Mass Effect 1, if you built your character right, you could just decimate troops by yourself. While in Mass Effect 2, you were more dependent on other people, as well as in Mass Effect 3. You were a powerhouse, but you didn't feel as powerful as you could have in Mass Effect 1. So I'm actually kind of glad they got rid of the global cooldowns and brought back the individual cooldowns. That's great. One thing that I am finding kind of iffy is that they're discouraging the pause and play, because in Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, you could go into like a strategy mode where like stop time and you can pinpoint your characters to do certain things, and maybe their wording is a bit off, but it seems that they're not encouraging that type of gameplay. They're actually encouraging more of a more action oriented and not as much strategy. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not the case, but it's the way they worded it that kind of made it feel that way. And they did talk about how they did changes to make the game feel a lot more fluid and fast-paced, and they want people to be more active during combat than sitting behind cover, which there still is, but there's more and new ways to get around it and to take advantage of it. For instance, you now have a jetpack for dashing and hovering and climbing, so you can actually get to higher advantages. The rolling is gone because your dash is a bit faster, and you actually hover in the air and take people out from that position. So you have a few more tools to work with, and overall it's going to make the game a lot more faster paced, which could be good, could be bad. I'm not really sure how I feel about that right now, but overall it's okay. But with the inclusion of a jetpack, environments are now more vertical and destructible. Because again, they want to emphasize you to be moving and be more action oriented during combat. They don't want you to sit still. So cover will be destructible, and so will other things. The new aliens are called the Ket. Now this is just one of the new aliens, they didn't go into any of the others. But they may be the new antagonists, but there could be some good ones too, we don't know. Classes are now gone and they're replaced with a skill tree, and you can mix and match, so you don't have to be tied to a certain class anymore. You can actually mix a bunch of things together, like if you want to have Incinerate and Biotics, you can do that. And you're not stuck on the tree either, because you can continuously reallocate your points whenever you want. If you want to go one way for one mission and then go another way another mission, you can reallocate your points to however you want to play. So that's interesting. Stylistically, armor is more varied and it actually changes your look a bit more. Like in Mass Effect 3, you could change your armor, but it didn't really change much. I mean, like it rounded your shoulders or made your chest a bit more puffy. But it seems that the armor in this game will be a lot more varied and it will actually significantly change your look. The Mako is back, and it's called the Nomad, and it seems you can upgrade it, but it doesn't have any weapons, so it doesn't look like the Mako will be used for combat at all. I mean, they didn't explain it, they didn't go much into it, so maybe there will be, but from what they said in the interview, the Mako does not have weapons, but you can upgrade its stats like speed, and also the look. Loyalty missions are back, something that Mass Effect 3 lost that a lot of people liked from Mass Effect 2. I personally did like them as well. I thought they were fun and fantastic, and it gave you a very good look into the character that you've liked. Crafting has been beefed up to where you can create all new weapons, armor, and apparently other materials too that they didn't go into. But it seems to be crafting is a bit more in depth now, because since you're exploring and finding new materials and items, you're going to be crafting a lot more in this game, it seems. They also hinted to something called super bosses. Not much is known about the super bosses. They really didn't go in depth on it, but they're just there. You can run into them earlier in the game, but you'll obviously have to come back to it until you're ready. Also, one big thing they changed is apparently the Paragon and Renegade options are gone. They're completely taken out of the game. And now they're replaced with a more emoticon type dialogue options in the same style as Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition, where you're not specifically picking a good or bad answer. You're giving either a professional, casual, or humorous response. And I think they even said that it's going to be used with like icons of your head, your heart, or whatever. But it's more reminiscent of Dragon Age style dialogue options and interactions. And another thing that I find similar to Dragon Age Inquisition is the way they kind of explain the maps. Because they said the game is not open world, but there are various places you can explore and travel to. So I'm expecting something like Dragon Age Inquisition, to where there were certain lands you can travel to, and within those lands it was an open field that you can travel around. It wasn't an entire world specifically, but there was a lot to do in that one location. So I'm expecting the Mass Effect to be quite similar in that regard, where you can travel to a planet, and on that planet there will be a open world land that you can do minerals, you can mine minerals, find enemies, and discover just a bunch of new things. So it seems like they're taking a lot of stuff from Dragon Age Inquisition and integrating it into Mass Effect Andromeda, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because I love Dragon Age Inquisition. I thought it was a fantastic game and a great RPG. So the style of maps is cool, but I'm kind of bummed about the Paragon and Renegade. I mean, if you read the interview, you understand what they're going for. They don't want to make your decisions to be good or evil. They want to make it your personality. They want you to be you. They don't want to tie you down to a stereotype. They also showed off 2 companions, PB, an Asari, and Liam, a human, and they were both on the Hyperion with you. And they don't really go much into them, but they are shown. These are just the tidbits I found interesting. There's a lot more in the article itself. If you want to go read it for yourself, I highly recommend it. And these are just the things I can get from me breezing through the article. If I find anything more on my more in-depth read-through, I'll come back and let you guys know. But that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And remember, I'm just a gamer. Peace.